It's story time. Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful and kind girl named Cinderella. All of the animals loved her, especially two mice named Gus and Jaq. They'd do anything for their Cinderelly. Cinderella lived with her cruel and jealous stepmother, Lady Tremaine, and her two stepsisters, Anastasia and Drizella. They treated Cinderella very badly, making her work all day, cleaning, sewing, and cooking. Cinderella's charm, beauty, kindness, and goodness were very obvious. She never complained about anything. One day, a messenger arrived with a special invitation. The whole family was invited to a royal ball at King's palace. The king wanted his son to find a bride, and every young woman in the kingdom was invited, including Cinderella. Cinderella was very excited about the ball. In the attic where she lived, she found a dress that had belonged to her mother. But her stepmother, Lady Tremaine, kept Cinderella busy, so she wouldn't have the time to remake the dress. Meanwhile, her animal friends fixed her dress. Now she could go to the ball. "Oh, thank you so much," Cinderella said to Gus, Jaq, and the birds. But once again, the cruel stepmother broke her heart. She wanted the prince to meet her daughters Anastasia and Drizella. Maybe he would marry one of them. The evil stepsisters ripped off the dress and pulled off the beards. Lady Tremaine didn't do anything to stop them. She just stood there and watched them. Cinderella ran away through tears to the garden. She was so sad and she missed her parents so much. Suddenly, a very good mother appeared and said, "Come on, get up. You can't go to the ball looking like that." Cinderella spoke with sadness. "But I'm not going to the ball." The very good mother waved her magic wand, saying, "But of course you are," and changed Cinderella's old clothes into a beautiful new gown. Then she touched Cinderella's feet with her magic wand and made sparkling glass slippers. The fairy found 6 mice playing near a pumpkin, so she touched all of them with her magic wand, and the mice became 4 shiny black horses, 2 coachmen, and the pumpkin turned into a golden coach. Before leaving, the fairy good mother said, "Cinderella, this magic will only last until midnight. You must reach home by then." At the ball, Prince Charming couldn't take his eyes off Cinderella. He went to her and asked, "Do you want to dance?" And Cinderella said yes. The orchestra played, and the prince began to dance with the wonderful girl whose name he still didn't know. For Cinderella, the night was a dream come true. She was so happy that she almost forgot what the fairy good mother had said. The clock began to strike midnight. "Oh, I must go. Goodbye," said Cinderella. "Come back," called the prince. "I don't even know your name." As Cinderella fled, one of her glass slippers came off, but she did not turn back for it. The prince saw the glass slipper and he took it. He had fallen in love with Cinderella and wanted to find out who the beautiful girl was so he can marry her. The prince sent the Grand Duke to find the girl who fits the glass slipper. Lady Tremaine found out that Cinderella was that gorgeous girl at the ball, so she locked her in the attic. Poor Cinderella. The stepmother's attentions were one of her daughters to replace Cinderella and marry the prince. When the Duke came, the stepsisters did everything to place their feet into the slipper, but nothing would do. Meanwhile, Gus and Jaq, her mouse friends, freed Cinderella, and when the Grand Duke took a step to give the slipper to her to try it on, Lady Tremaine tripped him and the glass slipper shattered. The Grand Duke was devastated. "Oh no! This is terrible! What will I do now?" Then Cinderella pulled out the other slipper from her pocket. "I believe this would help." And it did. That was the other slipper. The prince was overwhelmed because he found his true love, so he and Cinderella were soon married and lived happily ever after. To support us, please subscribe to Storytime.